Welcome to Let's Know Buffalo. I'm Kevin McMullen, Joe Sorrentino. Our guest today is Collin Hayes from CustomControllers.com.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped about this because Kevin told me what you do, and I can't believe it. Because I'm not a gamer. I didn't know this was a thing. So you make custom controllers?
Yeah. So our business, we literally customize Xbox and PlayStation controllers and just sell them online.
Just sell them online, like it's some little operation, right? So why don't you tell us where you sell them? You got your website?
Yeah. So we sell on our website, CustomControllers.com. We sell on Amazon. We sell on Walmart.com. We sell on eBay. Basically, like any of the big like marketplaces. Actually, now we even sell them on like TikTok, on TikTok Shop. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So take us back to the beginning. How did this start? Are you
First of
born
all,
and raised in
wait,
Buffalo?
yeah, how old are you?
28.
And when did you start?
I think I was like 14.
14 years old in his parents' basement. And then, at 14 years old, were you selling online? Were you selling to your friends? Like you were customizing things? Tell us how it all got started.
So I was a freshman in high school was when like I had my first like actual like website. And
Whoa.
Yeah. So I started like a free website. I still remember to this day. Like, so the business name is Custom Controllers with 2 Z's. So the first website was customcontrollers.webs or something.com. I didn't even have like a domain name. It was literally a free website that I just made.
Oh my God.
And so I was a freshman in high school and I literally just started, spray painted one of my controller, like blue or something. And then neighbor saw it or like friend saw it. And then it just like kind of like snowballed. They were like, oh, like I want one. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I'll paint you one. No problem. Just spray over your controller.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
So literally that's how it started. I guess the pretext to even that would be I was a huge gamer in like middle school, high school, just like I love sports and I loved playing video games like Call of Duty. So growing up, one of my friends had bought not like a custom controller. It was like, it's called like modded. So there was like a pre-programmed mod chip installed inside of the controller and it would make you play better.
We used to sell those at the store.
Wow.
And then install them.
So one of my friends bought one and I was at his house one day or whatever. And I was like, he was like, I got to show you this modded controller. I was like, oh, sick. What's a modded controller, right? And so he showed me and I was like, that's cool. So then I bought one. And then, again, it was not custom. It was just modded. So it was just a standard controller. It was like white or black or whatever, but it had the rapid fire chip built in. And then I was like, oh, this is real cool. But I wanted to like customize it, At the time, there was no, if you go to Best Buy, Target, Walmart, there was only like white controllers, black controllers. Maybe eventually there was like blue and red. But for the most part, it was literally just white controllers or black controllers.
What year is this?
Probably, so I graduated in 2013. So it's 2009,
Okay.
2008. No, yeah, 2009-ish, 2010.
Okay.
So I just spray painted in my dad's garage, my controller, and it just kind of snowballed.
It's incredible to me that, we talk about the generation, like us being a little bit older, right? We didn't grow up with the internet like your generation did.
Right.
So the ability and the access for you to start a business online and become super successful now selling on, because you can't just go and sell on Walmart.com, right? Like
No.
They literally, so how does that work when, like, talk about maybe like growing on Amazon and Walmart?
So let me rephrase it. So you can, anyone, any business, registered business, you can apply and you can sell on Amazon, Walmart. That's not the hard part. The hard part is actually like selling on Walmart or Amazon.
Sure.
Just because, just with any industry, including ours, there's so much competition.
Right.
And it's like with margins, when you're selling on these marketplaces, they're taking, like Amazon takes now almost 17% per order. And that's not even, that's literally just to sell per order. That's not any marketing, anything like that. So there's definitely a fine line between like, oh yeah, I sell on Amazon.com or I sell on Walmart, to like companies that actually can sell, because it's very hard to scale
Right.
on the marketplaces.
So I guess going through that process, take me from working out of your parents' basement to graduating high school, well, like college, like
For sure. So all through high school, I think it was 10th grade. Like I mentioned, I had a free website. Literally, I just did it myself. I think I was either in 9th or 10th grade when my parents gave me, I think it was a couple thousand. I think it was like $2,000 to $3,000.
so you had a little seed money.
Yes. This was like the big deal, like $2,000 to $3,000, trying to explain to my mom or my dad, like what I need it for. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to get like a professional website. Oh, well, why do you need a professional website? Well, because I put together the website and it looks terrible and I'm not going to sell anything until it like looks really good. And then finally they like gave in, my mom or my dad, I forget. And they gave me the money, got the website done. I think it was like 9th or 10th grade. And then like aesthetically, it looked really good. Like it looked professional. It did not look like a 14 or 15-year-old kid was selling like these controllers, literally making them out of my dad's basement.
So what did selling a controller look like back then? Like, were you already just customizing it, taking a picture and posting it on the website, or could people go to your website and say, "Hey, I want an outer space one," right?
So we would do like pre-builds. So we would make designs, we would customize them, we would put them for sale. Marketing was like a whole nother like subject back then. So
Because you could build a website, but who the hell's going to go to it?
Yeah,
like, how
exactly.
do you get people there?
And I had no money to like advertise. Like I knew nothing about, I don't even know if Google ads was a thing back then, or like Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I don't even know if that was a thing. So I would literally have friends from high school. I would buy like these little like chat pads that you would plug into the bottom of the controller. And like in Call of Duty, we would literally go into games. And you would join a game, you would back out. You would join another game, you would back out. Basically, we would build like your recently played with, and then we would send a message to all players that like we recently played with. It was like 100. And then we would just send
genius.
Then we would send them a message and be like, hey, check out customcontrollers.com, use code COD for 10% off. So I remember I would literally, we would do this for hours. And I think you would get to a point where like you couldn't send any more messages, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll actually play the game now.
This is equivalent to like door knocking in real estate. You're literally
And then like some friends they would get pissed because like in Call of Duty it tracks like all your stats. So like one of the stats was like a win-loss record. Like the one I cared about was like your KD, like your kill death ratio, but there was like a win-loss ratio. And some people, no, Collin, like you're just gonna tank my ratio. I'm trying to prestige, man. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Oh,
So that's how you were selling controllers.
yeah. So that was our marketing. Like
amazing.
we would just send messages to all these random people to tell them to go to the website and use a discount code if they wanted one.
So I mean, talk about how much were you selling in 10th grade? Like,
I don't even know. Maybe a couple controllers a week, maybe. And I think that was even kind of cool.
I mean, that is very cool. Like, you don't have to go work a part-time job. You make a couple $100. Life's good.
And again, at this time, even with like the couple $1,000 website or whatever, it was still for fun. Like I never thought in my wildest dreams, like, oh, I'm going to do this as a career. Like, it was literally just for fun. It changed, I would say, so that was all the way through high school, just doing it for fun. And then when I graduated high school, I went to community college. My freshman year of community college, my mom was set on me going to school. Whatever reason, she wanted me to get a degree. And I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not good at school. I don't care about I wasn't good at school. I just didn't apply myself in school.
Sure.
Just because I was focused on like building my business. At the time, it seemed like crazy.
Yeah.
But So I went to community college, and like that, my freshman year of college was when it was like, wow, like, I could actually do this as a career. I can make a living off of it, so to say. Like, still not knowing the full potential, but just like, that's when we were getting more orders. I don't remember, but maybe we were doing a couple orders a day to compare to in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe we would do a handful of orders a week.
And for you were just like, oh, I'm going to college.
Yeah.
I don't need to work a part-time job. I've got this cash coming in.
Yeah.
And it was pretty healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, were you still living at home?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't buy, like, personally wise, I didn't buy my first house until I was like 22. So,
Which is very young to buy a house.
I was very young.
but,
Who's your real estate agent?
oh,
Does he happen to be sitting in this room?
yeah, he is. Kevin
He
McMullen.
didn't sell you a lemon, did he?
No. Well, kind of, but no.
Bro,
No, he didn't.
nobody's buying, there's their first house, the house that this kid bought. I'm going to embarrass him a little bit, but let's just say that, okay? We won't talk numbers, but it was a beautiful house in East Amherst.
So you're in college, you're seeing that this is possible because the orders are coming in. Are you still painting, just basically painting the controllers?
So we transitioned. So then we had a manufacturer overseas, and we were doing, at that time, we would be doing like a lot of Chrome controllers, or
Oh, wow.
the controllers would have like light up buttons and light up thumbsticks.
So that's another cool thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not talking just skins and covers. You get into buttons and LED lights.
Today, even back then, we can literally customize anything on the controller. The buttons, the thumbsticks, bumpers, triggers, the shells, anything aesthetically on the controller we can really customize.
And what's really neat is I'm super impressed with where the website is today, right? Like, you bring up this controller and it just spins in 3D and you can just keep changing everything on it. Super impressive. Like,
So at that time, are you still marketing it the same way?
No, great question. So now, after high school, we transitioned to what is now like influencer marketing, which it was not called influencer marketing back then.
Right.
So this is like 2013, 2014. We, instead of like doing the messages to all friends, we would sponsor like YouTubers. So people that would just play video games on YouTube, we would sponsor them. So I would reach out to them on their YouTube channel. If you go to like the About tab, there's always an email. So I would type up just a generic like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Just wanted to know if you'd be interested in a sponsorship for, custom controllers. We'll design a controller for you, however you want it, and then we'll sell them. So any of your audience or your fans that are watching your videos, they can buy one. So we switched like influencer marketing, and I would same thing. There was like a website, it was Social Blade, where Social Blade would list all of the top YouTubers, like in the world, in the United States, in the world. I would just go on there. I would start at the top. I would click on every channel. I would go to their About, just send them an email, and someone would email back, and I would be like, oh, okay. Then it would just go from there. So we would set up a conversation, just talk to them, see if they're interested, what it would cost us, and yeah.
Would they get a piece of it?
Yeah.
So that's...
Yep.
What gave you the idea to do that when people weren't really doing that at the time?
I don't even know. I don't even remember.
This is what's fascinating to me about this so far. I feel like there's like two sides of your brain working here. There's the artist side, and then there's the business side of it. And most artists don't think on the other side of their brain like that, to like just push a product out there and come up with ways outside the box. So you're like in the thick of both sides of that, which is really rare, I think.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm just fascinated that, like, at this time, what are you, probably 18 when you're at that point?
I was, so my freshman year, I have a late birthday. So I was like 17 my freshman year, 17 turning 18, freshman year of college.
Wow. So, okay. So you're not just spray painting stuff anymore. You have all this stuff going on while you're going to college and realizing I might be able to just
So what
go
was that
this route.
conversation like? Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm going to not finish college and continue growing this video game business?
So, as I mentioned, I went to community college. I did finish. I definitely did not go for 2 years. I think it probably took me like 3 years.
What's the norm? I mean,
Yeah, it is what it is. But I did finish, and then I don't even remember the conversation like I had with my parents when I was like, well, I finished, but I'm not going to get a job.
Nope.
And I don't even know if they ever asked it, like, oh, are you gonna look for a job?
Well,
or
the
anything
proof
like
was
that?
probably in the pudding. Like, it's funny. So many people who we've talked to who start a business, it's just an idea, and they take this like leap of faith. You're making money already, like
Yeah.
at that age, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, like looking back.
Yeah, you
no,
did
it's
something
again,
amazing.
super impressive. The fact that you're the age you are, and so the growth curve. So you're in college, you finish. At what point are you like, it's go time? Like,
It was probably after I finished college. And keep in mind, like I was super young, and
Yeah.
I'm running. When I say running, it's not like anything like it's just a little small
you're-
business,
right?
right?
But you're downplaying it. And listen, I know most people want to downplay the work that goes into some of this sometimes and be modest about it, but you're still running a company.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's online or brick and mortar, you're running an operation.
But I really don't even know what I'm doing yet. Like I'm literally learning as I go. It's me. Like I'm figuring out like payroll or like getting the payroll company set up or paying bills or literally emailing customers.
Yep.
Like I'm doing all this stuff.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing, but like I'm just doing it so until like it works. And my parents, looking back, like it's kind of crazy to think about. Like my parents would never ask me like, "Oh, did you pay your credit card?" or "Did you do payroll this week?"
Right.
Like they would never ask me these questions. They were just always like, they just assumed, "Oh yeah, Colin's got it, no problem, he'll figure it out." But
I mean, that's something to be said for them. I know that you were old enough, but allowing you to pursue that,
Yeah.
right? And trust and have faith that, like, all right, as this thing grows, you've got access to bills and money and payroll and all those things that go with it. Because if it doesn't work, like you could have
They
some
gave them
problems.
that seed money. They were waiting for that payout.
What's the interest on that? Did you pay that back?
oh yeah.
I better pay them off quick.
And like a funny story, like I don't remember like the timeline. It was probably around this. Keep in mind, like we don't have inventory. When we would get an order, I would buy the products to like make it. We did not have stuff like completed sitting on shelves or like in warehouses. It was literally, oh, we got an order today. Okay, I'm gonna order a single controller.
Right.
And I remember I would go to Best Buy with a couple friends or employees who are also my friends or were my friends. We would go to Best Buy. We would clear the shelves of
Every controller.
yeah. We would order them. This is before like we even worked with a distributor or anything. We would go to Best Buy and just clear the shelves. They would order them for us. And the best was like Black Friday shopping. Oh man, because they would bring in so much inventory. And they were always on sale. I remember we would get like shopping carts filled with controllers.
Do you ever get questioned at the checkout?
Yeah, well, I think I ruined it for a lot of people because after all that, then they started doing like limits. Like, oh yeah, you can only buy.
It was because of you, yeah.
You can only buy 2 or 3 at a time.
Wow.
So now you've grown this big enough that you collect a paycheck and you're selling on Amazon, you're selling on well, you don't do eBay, do you?
So we sell on eBay. We sell a lot of like customer returns, like
Okay.
our used stuff.
Gotcha.
Which we also do list on Amazon, but eBay, for whatever reason, like when we get back customer returns, we'll grade them, we'll test them, we'll clean them. And then after that, like we'll list them on Amazon for, use like new, use good, use acceptable, but then we'll also put them on eBay. And I don't know what it is with eBay, but that's really where we sell a lot of our like really good like used controllers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like the Amazon has taken over as far as new stuff goes, right? Packaged product and eBay to me, even though that you can buy new on there, right? Seems more of like a flea market, used things, unique things, right? That's just my opinion.
For sure.
So how is it? Do you have employees?
Yes. So I have 3 employees. I have one of the employees, Chris, is my business partner in our second business, Pro Controllers.
So what's that business?
So Pro Controllers is another controller company. We started that back in 2018. So fast forward 5 years. Basically, we do the same thing as far as customizing controllers. However, Pro Controllers, totally different marketing, exclusive designs, where for custom controllers, now everything we have manufactured. So we're no longer painting or spray painting or anything like that. But what's cool for Pro Controllers is we don't spray paint them anymore, but one of our friends actually like professionally paints them with like automotive paint and clear coat.
Nice.
So like a lot of
high quality.
Oh, super high quality. And we could do like literally like clear coat you would see on like your car. Beautiful, like shiny, like glass. So Pro Controllers, we specialize, I guess, in a lot of like fade, like painted shells and controllers, which is super original. And what's nice about that is there's not one controller the same. Every controller shell is going to be a little bit different just because they're actually hand painted.
As this was ascending, because this is a crazy story with such a fast ascent. What were some big bumps in the road that you weren't expecting?
I would say like COVID. So COVID was good, but it was also bad. COVID was very challenging to get product, like the actual controllers, because none of like the U.S. distribution had product. Like,
did you have an increase of demand during COVID because of people staying home?
Yep.
And you weren't able to fulfill it the way you'd like?
No, absolutely not.
Wow.
No. We were paying through the nose for the raw materials for like the actual controllers themselves. And I just remember it was like a daily challenge trying to source more just
Oh my God.
basic controllers for us to like customize and, turn around and sell. Because the hard part is during this time, like especially during COVID, like we don't need 1 or 2 controllers. We were looking for hundreds or 1,000 or whatever, and it was just so challenging. Even paying, we were paying over retail. So like a black Xbox controller, if you go to Target, Walmart, or whatever, they're like $60. I remember we were paying during COVID like over, I think close to like $70 a piece.
Wow. And it's crazy because you think, that happened in the car industry too, right? Like during COVID and even now with the supply chains, everybody's paying over manufacturer's sticker for vehicles, and to hear it in other industries, right? We've heard it in the food industry, like prices skyrocketed, and now hearing it in your industry.
Yeah.
How that you're paying more than retail when you should be paying a wholesale price.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Were you terrified?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was very hard. I remember even going to like Costco online to like Costco's wholesale or reach out to like, besides Best Buy, all these huge companies to see, hey, like, can you fulfill this order? And wouldn't even get a response or anything like that.
God.
Yeah.
How did you handle that? Like mentally, how did you, because I mean, for some people that could have been the end of that business.
True. Yeah.
So how did you get through that?
I think just knowing, because I would reach out to so many different people and so many different companies trying to get products, like I think maybe mentally I was just thinking, well, I did all I could. So if I found product that we could make and sell, great. If not, I know I tried.
And it's not like this is happening to a lot of people, right? So just maybe realizing that it's not
Yeah.
just you struggling right now.
Oh, for
all
sure.
these other places are too.
For sure.
Yeah.
So with your product line, you do controllers,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
so every time a new system comes out, the controller changes, right?
sure.
So how does that change your business?
Yeah, so we're on our second or third generation or like cycle of controllers. PlayStation wise, we started with PS3 controllers. Now we're on PS5.
Okay.
So, and then Xbox, I think it was just Xbox. Well, there was Xbox 360, how we started. There was Xbox One, and now we're on Xbox Series X and S. So I guess for both consoles, the Xbox and PlayStation, we're both on the third generation line of controllers.
So those are your main two that you're doing. I mean,
For
are you
sure.
branching off any of the Nintendo stuff or the retro stuff, or there's just not a market for it?
I there probably is a market.
Okay.
We just haven't tapped into it yet. Really, our bread and butter is Xbox and controllers for PlayStation.
Well, and I think, obviously, whatever business you're in, people or the owners, they usually want to expand into whatever, right?
For
Different
sure.
products, different product lines. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't always work. But I think we've had conversations earlier that, hey, listen, this is what we specialize in. We do it well. We make money. And this is our specialty. And that's that, right?
For
and
sure.
that kind of sounds like where you're at.
Yeah.
Have you ever branched into anything else or even just dipped your toe just to try? Or you're just like, hey, listen, this is what we do. Take it or leave it.
So years ago, we also did custom like mouses,
Okay.
or mice for like computers. That was super cool. One of my good friends, he kind of made all the designs and stuff like that. But then we just stopped selling those.
Just doesn't seem as mainstream as just like a regular controller.
Yeah,
right?
we were just set up for controllers, really. And it was like, we weren't set up, again, this is going back, I don't even know, 7 or 8 years. And we just really weren't set up for the keyboard mice.
Right.
Like we were controllers. Like we just had everything for controllers. But yeah, no, I'm sure, I mean, I don't know the statistic of it, but I'm sure like keyboard and mice or mouses or whatever, that might even be a bigger industry than controllers.
Yeah. Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like overseas.
Do you still play video games?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like to. I
He's
shouldn't
like
say
22 years old. Of course he still plays.
that. I don't play as often as I would like. I mean, I'll go.
Wait till you have a kid. See how
Oh
often you
yeah.
play.
I mean, I'll go through spurts. If like a new game comes out, I'll play it every day, like an hour a day or whatever for a couple weeks straight. But then during the
Sorry,
summer,
honey, I'm working.
Yeah, you're testing out product.
and then I'll go 3 to 6 months without even turning it on. But I do enjoy playing. It's fun.
That's awesome, man. I'm just so blown away by this. That's such a crazy thing that you just did this in high school, that you started this.
Yeah.
So growth, what plans moving forward? Are you just staying course? How are you trying to build the business and expand it?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we definitely want to come out with more designs. We really started doing like the PlayStation stuff, or at least the PlayStation 5 line, relatively recently. PlayStation 5 now has been out for a couple of years. I think we started releasing designs for our PlayStation 5 controllers back in, maybe last August or September, maybe a little bit sooner. But I mean, last holiday season was our real first year with the PlayStation 5 controllers, or our version for PlayStation 5. So we're still ramping up, Xbox. In our basic line of controllers, we probably have over 70 designs, let's say, 70 different unique designs just for custom controllers alone, not even considering pro controllers. And just for reference, for like the PlayStation 5 line, for those controllers, for the 70 that we have for Xbox, we probably only still have maybe just a little over 20 designs right now for PlayStation. So it's definitely still very relatively new for us. And we want to continue to evolve, that line, releasing more designs and really getting those options caught up to what we offer currently for Xbox.
How many controllers do you think overall you've sold?
Oh, a lot. Probably. Yeah, a lot. Definitely well over like 100,000.
That's amazing.
And you're shipping them all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you started with the first one that you painted,
Yep. I still have that.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
you
It's in my game room
That's super
in my
cool.
dad's.
That's better
house.
than a trophy. That's
Yeah.
like
I know.
that's the
I should get
beginning
that
for
with me.
that. You should.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing custom controllers at all at that time,
I don't know. I think there probably was.
but not that you knew of.
Yeah, not
so
that
there was nothing that you ever like looked at like, oh, I want to be like that. Like this was just totally organically.
Yeah, there was definitely companies selling like the modded controllers or the rapid fire controllers, but I really don't think there was many that were customizing them. And like we did the modded stuff as well, but really our bread and butter was like the aesthetics, was
Right,
the
right.
customization of them.
It's so interesting to hear your story about how organically it just kept growing and piecing together. It almost made sense. Like, okay, this works, so now we're going to do this. For your story, was
Yeah.
there any entrepreneurial, someone you looked up to, or something that made you think this is even possible to grow this to this big?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I've never really like thought about it like that.
I think sometimes ignorance is bliss, right? Like you just started doing it.
Yeah.
That's
and it
what's
grew and
amazing
grew
about
and
his
grew. And you just, like you said, you figured out how to have inventory, how to pay bills, and how to hire employees and do payroll. And
It's just such an organic story.
Yep.
You know, like it wasn't like, oh, I saw this, that worked, so I'm going to try to emulate that. Like you didn't see that. So that's what's so fascinating, that you're able to, create this reality for yourself that you didn't even see was possible originally.
Oh, for sure. Like I had no expectations. Like that's what I was going to do for my career. It just started from a hobby, just for fun.
do you ever think what you would do if you weren't doing
Oh, that's another good question.
custom controllers? Like,
No,
what did you want to be when you grew up?
nothing. I never even like thought about it. Like I was in community college. I went for business, but it was just like I only went because my parents really wanted me to go. And now I feel like my answer for what I would want to do now after owning, a business and learning so much about business, it would be totally skewed to if you were to ask me that same
Sure.
question when I was in high school. Now, if I had to answer that today, I would probably say sales. I love sales. But yeah, I don't even know. In high school, if you would have asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? Be an astronaut. No, I have no idea.
with you selling them all over the world, and I've heard some stories from you, like recognizing people's names of purchasers. Like,
Oh, yeah.
who have you sold to?
Are you allowed
Or
to say that?
or they're like special requests that they call in and say, I'm so and so. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, we could do anything. We could do, if companies call or email us and they say, hey, we want to do 10 or 20 controllers for
Certain brands.
yeah, for sure. Like, brands or teams or anything like that. The sky's the limit, really, as far as customization. So, yeah, we've worked with brands before to do certain projects, but yeah, I don't know.
Or you've worked with the Bills, right? Or the
Well,
Bills players, not the Bills
A
specifically.
couple players. Yeah, that would be real cool to work with the
Did you
Bills.
get the Josh Allen yet?
No. Josh Allen, if you're listening, I want to make you a
He's
controller.
totally going to hear this, for sure. We're that big.
That's cool though. But you've recognized names and stuff like that, where there's
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm trying to remember the one you told me. You were like, oh, I think so-and-so ordered a controller. Like, it's, it was like from Hollywood or something. You're like, we had to ship it to L.A.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But that's like a whole nother like super cool aspect that talking about like learning stuff and learning new things. Like I still don't know much about like licensing for, let's just say, for like Buffalo Bills controllers, like an NFL license.
Right.
Like I know you might need like NFL license, or you might need for just like the teams.
Oh, 100%.
But then if you want to do players, then you need to get another license for like the NFL Players Association.
I mean, that's a whole nother level and a cost that, like, right? So Jesse working for New Era, right? She's marketing director. Like, New Era owns the license to be able to use those logos and rights and names.
Awesome market to tap into. That would be, though. Like, how many Bills fans would love a Bills controller?
That's what I'm saying. Oh my God, it would be so cool to sell them like right in the little store.
Yeah,
I think that's operated by Delaware North, or it used to be maybe. But yeah, and it's just the point, like, there's the opportunities out there are endless, and it's just so cool still to learn new things.
So do you feel like you're still at like the beginning of what this could be?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
that's incredible.
I mean, we have so much potential or opportunity that we're still exploring, and I mean, I really feel like we can still really, really scale just by doing a couple of things. Like we're tapped our current workspace. We're probably at like 1,800 square feet. And, we've been looking with the help of Kevin for a new building just to, further expand, to hire new people for as far as like inventory wise. So we have more places to store it. And it's all those things where I feel like if we had more space, we could hire more people. As a result of hiring more people, we can produce more controllers, which means then we can sell more controllers.
That's the chicken and the egg, right? Like, which comes first? Like, right?
But I mean, we are, it's a great thing that I feel like we are able to scale, and we try to scale every year, but we're doing it modestly.
Has doing this taking you on any cool journeys? Like, have you had to travel for this or anything like that?
That's a great question, and honestly, no. I would love to go overseas to like China to see our manufacturers, like, actually in person. I think that would be so cool, but no, I've never done that.
I bet you if you ask, like, I know some people that used to go over there, and they would go to China, plan a trip for 2 or 3 weeks, and meet all the manufacturers and again, source their products and new products. And
I'm sure it's a great idea.
It's just such a interesting like testament to what's possible, that you're able to build something so big that it's you, a handful of other people, and you got parts coming from other parts of the world, and you're able to do it essentially from your computer, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's I'm blown away.
Well, listen, Collin, incredible. Keep growing the business and much success.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on. If you want to plug your websites, plug your social media for us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Any controllers, definitely check out Custom Controllers with 2Zs.com and also ProControllers.com. Any Amazon customers out there, Amazon.com/custom controllers and Amazon.com/pro controllers.
Just curious, what's your favorite video game of all time?
Probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, I think. No, I don't know. It's like COD 4, whatever that one is.
So the shooter games was always...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Our modded controllers in that game, insane. Absolutely insane.
All right. That's amazing. Dude,
But
thank
thanks,
you so
guys.
much. Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Cool.